and good evening, race fans. Welcome to ETV Live, where we're hosting tonight race number 9 with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. Race number 9 here within the booth with me tonight, Joshua Harbinson, Dakota Airman on pit road. And Joshua, man, things looked really good last week at Texas, race number 8 in this chase. And then now again we go to Phoenix here tonight, race number 9, getting ever so close to that championship.
Yeah, and last year at Texas, it kind of shook the points up just a little bit, not much. And Phoenix is, has a reputation for changing everything up again.
Absolutely, and last week at Texas, Dwayne Vincent, the man on a mission, won at Texas last week, the great All-American race. And where did that points leader finish? Well, Landon Huffman, who's in first, finished 6th last week, just outside the top 5. R.J. Williams, who's second in the points, 52 points behind Huffman, finished 3rd. Again, R.J. Williams, also man on a mission. Week before that, finished 3rd at Martinsville. Second at Martinsville, finished 3rd at Texas. So R.J. Williams looking for a good spot tonight, hopefully looking for that win. Guy Snyder, who sits 3rd in points, had a difficult race last week at Texas, came home 9th. Chad Cole, who's sitting right there on the bubble, 77 points behind the leader, finished 5th last week. And John Abbott finished 7th last week, 5th in the points, 88 behind Huffman.
Yeah, and 6th in the points, he finished not too good a finish. Finished 17th last week. Joseph Hayes, he's 124 behind. And 7th in the points, he was 19th, is Jay Horton. He's 126 behind. Right behind him is David Lanza. He's 8th in points. He's the worst finisher of the top 10 with 25th last week, and he's 157 behind. Yeah, and Doug Ross, he's 9th in points, finished 16th last week, and he's 168 behind. And Adam Roberts, he is sitting 10th in points, finished 24th last week. He is 172 behind.
Yeah, how about that? The top 5 in points all finished inside the top 10, and the 6th through 10th in points finished outside the top 16th. So 16th and all the way back to 25th, as you mentioned, David Lanza, the worst out of the top 10 in points. But tonight again, Texas is over with, Josh. Now we're at Phoenix, and this is a tricky track. And race number 9, you got to let it all hang out here tonight. Landon Huffman leading the charge for that Bob Earl Racing cockpit seat. But R.J. Williams hot in pursuit. He's wanting it every week, week in, week out for the last 6-7 weeks. R.J. Williams has finished towards the front. Landon Huffman hitting and missing week to week, but R.J. Williams, he's really on a mission, Josh.
Yeah, he's moving. He's definitely showing us what he's got. Yeah, Landon, he's had a couple, I guess not really bad weeks, but he's had some hiccups, and he's not finished where he wanted to finish, and RJ's been taking advantage of that week after week.
Absolutely, and we mentioned before the broadcast got underway that Dakota Airman was joining us from pit road tonight. Dakota, Phoenix International Raceway, 1-mile track. These guys having a little bit of fun out there, practicing right now, qualifying, getting underway. And anything that these guys are looking and expecting at going into tonight's race?
Well, from what I heard from the drivers, nobody's really having a whole lot of fun out there. It's more like trying not to kill themselves. I mean, just a bunch of sliding, no rig rip off the corners tonight. Just taking care of those tires is important. And I'll tell you, one person who found that out in qualifying was Landon Huffman. Actually blew a tire coming off a floor. Somehow, I guess they had some practice tires still on the car, but ended up getting the wall really hard. I believe they had a tire or something malfunction, and it's going to start 27th, guys.
Yeah, not a very good starting position if you're the points leader, Huffman there. And we mentioned Dwayne Vincent winning at Texas last week, Josh. Right now, sitting on the point, on the pole, 26.812. And guess who's out beside him? I'm telling you, this number 21 rocket machine, I'm going to start calling him Rocket, R.J. Williams, because this guy's really put on a show with the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series here in the last few stages in the chase races. Starting second tonight outside Dwayne Vincent, Josh. You got to think R.J. Williams' crew's real happy going into tonight's race.
Oh yeah, it's just he's taking advantage of the hiccups Landon Huffman's having, and yeah, just it's going to be Landon's going to have to mess up quite a bit for RJ to pass him in the points, I believe. But we'll see what happens, because he's definitely showing what he's got here at the end of the season.
And we're showing 37 drivers actually taking time in practice session, only 27 putting a Q lap on the board. And the last one that Dakota mentioned, Landon Huffman, 27 spot, way outside the times there compared to Douglas Wyatt, who's starting 26 with 27.4. So Dakota, what's these guys talking about coming off to? I know it's a little loose. Are these guys going to baby that throttle? What should we expect coming out of turn 2 tonight and going into that dogleg backstretch?
I don't think the dogleg or the little kind of just random, it's like a tri-oval in the backstretch is really the problem. It's coming out of 2, like you said, coming out of 4. Both are going to be probably monsters tonight for everybody. They got to really baby the throttle, and if they don't, if they start getting racy, like you might see Landon Huffman do, they're going to be turned around more than likely. If they use too much throttle coming off this corner, it's like the wheels spin and they're just facing the other way.
Another guy just got done qualifying again. Qualifying's not over. Landon Huffman actually now being bumped from 27th to 28th. Again, that's your pole sitter. Or, excuse me, that's your points leader. Pole sitter still being shown to Dwayne Vincent and R.J. Williams on the outside. When we return, Phoenix International Raceway, green flag conditions with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, all in the hunt for the Bob Roll Racing cockpit seat. We'll see you in a second.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Gentlemen,
Hi, welcome back to ETV Live's coverage of Phoenix International Raceway with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, and claiming the pole, Dwayne Vincent, and going to start outside him, the number 21 machine, R.J. Williams.
Yeah, on row 2 in the 45 machine.
Kel Dresbach, Rick Fouts, 3rd and 4th. Steve Ritter starting 5th. C.J. Lavere, 6th.
The 7th is Jonathan Dell, and 8th is Brian Hartford in the 01 car.
Pulling off 9th position tonight, Nathan Little. Outside him, John Hanna Jr. in the number 6 machine.
Yeah, sitting 11th is the 88 of Roberts, and right beside him, the 67 of Brian Harvey.
Rolling off 13th tonight in the 25 machine, Chad Schilling. Outside him, the 44 of Glenn Campbell.
The 15th is the 30th of David Lanza. 16th is the number 84 of Jimmy North.
Rolling off 7th tonight, Ronnie Potts. Outside him, John Abbott.
19th, you got Ars Rigdon, and beside him is Doug Roth.
And moving on back, 21st positions, rolling off the grid, Jay Horton. Outside him, John Milwane.
Back behind them, you got Brooks Jr. in the 71 and Nathan Bauer starting on his outside.
The 66 machine rolling off 25th tonight. That's Michael Gray. To his right, the 61 of White Wolf.
And then you got Doug White starting 27th. Beside him is your points leader, Landon Huffman.
And then Steve Gottschalk, which did not take a queue time, rolls off 29th. Also not taking a queue time, Jose Gonzalez in that number 11 machine rolling off 30th.
Yeah, 31st is Ridge beside him. 32nd is Joseph Hayes. They didn't qualify as well.
Continuing the lineup, 33rd, Patrick Hahi. Outside him, Ed Williams Jr.
And back behind them, the number of J. Randall Watkins. And then the 58 of Justin Wilson. And starting 37th in his own row, Stephen Herring.
There we have it, Josh. 37 drivers. Phoenix International Raceway. Set to go green here this time by. Pace lights are off. Again, Dwayne Vincent rolling off in that number 1 spot. R.J. Williams, who's second in the points, needing some sort of miracle to catch Huffman, who's 52 ahead of him. Pace car dipped down low, Josh. Green flag here at Phoenix International Raceway. RSR Full Throttle Cup Series race number 9 is underway, Josh, as Dwayne Vincent takes a solid lead coming into turn 2, now down the backstretch.
Yeah, he's pulled away from R.J. Williams a little bit. Actually, both of them are starting to pull away from Cal. Ooh, as I say that, Cal Dresbach catches up a little bit.
I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of cars on this racetrack. Steve Herring actually being shown in the 36th position back there. So 36 drivers actually taking the field tonight. And Dwayne Vincent, who's pulled out to a good, comfortable lead, about a 4-car length lead over R.J. Williams, who's run second, and Kel Dresbach, as you mentioned, shaking up into the 3rd spot. You know, too, Josh, these guys got to remember this thing's 125 laps. We're only 2 laps into this thing as the leader crosses the line. Looking back here in the number 18th position, R.C. Rigdon in that lime green Chevrolet trying to work the back door of Ronnie Potts. And he's got his hands full with John Abbott there, who's running real good in points right now. Maybe out of it, but Abbott's still looking to finish that top 5 Stroker Races Charger in the top 5.
Yeah, just because they're out of the points means they're not going to race for the wins. They're going to try to race no matter where they are sitting in points, try to get to that 1st spot.
Absolutely, and you know, Abbott's still looking for that number 1 position finish this year in the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. Trying to track down race win number 1 here at Phoenix, John Abbott again. If he can't do it this week, he's got the Homestead Championship week next week, Monday night, here with the Real Sim Racing Series. So John Abbott again being shown 19th position, working the back door though of R.C. Rigdon. And then continuing to lead the charge, Dwayne Vincent out front, the number 1 man position here, going into turn 3, 4. Guys, turn over there to your audio, crank it up. ETV Live's going to crank it up this time by. Welcome back. Getting word here, Landon Huffman in the number 20th spot here, just now passing Doug Raw for that 19th position down the front stretch here. Dakota, any information on that Huffman crew?
I'll tell you what, man, I've been listening to the radio as I was down there on pit road. Landon Huffman happy as he could be. I don't know what went wrong in qualifying, but he definitely does not deserve to be back there because he is coming to the front in a hurry.
Yeah, Huffman started again, folks. 28th position, has worked his way all the way up to 19th. Little battle going on up here, though, for the 8th position and 9th position. It's Brian Harford who's putting the move on Nathan Little on the outside. They've got Jonathan Cadell just ahead of them. But too wide racing here at Phoenix as they come off too, Dakota.
I'll tell you what, getting into the corner of that inside lane is probably the perfect place to be, but coming off that corner on 1 and 2, that outside lane is where you want to be because the banking changes dramatically. It's what it feels like in the car where the bottom lane just pushes it up the track and they have to slow down so they don't run over the outside lane. So really that outside lane in turn 1 and 2 is the place you want to be.
It really is, Dakota. You're right. I mean, you can get down there and almost make the pass, but when you come out of the turn, there's this thing that the drivers like to say, you know, give the car its head, which means let it go up the track. And when you're down low and someone's up high, you can't give the car its head. You got to hold it down there, and it forces and binds the car up, which actually slows it down. So we know speed here is crucial at Phoenix, coming off the turns and getting into the turns. That's why you see these cars jolt down forward. They hit that brake, and man, I tell you, that front of the car slams the concrete here at Phoenix.
Keith, how about a shout out to Dwayne Vincent winning at Texas like you said last week, and look at, he's got quite a bit of a gap here. I believe this is about a second gap to RJ Williams. This guy is driving away and he's not looking back.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you about Dwayne Vincent here. You know, I talked to this guy before the chase actually started. I said, Dwayne, you know, don't you wish that you could have entered the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series back when it first started, and then you're probably looking at competing in that top 10 for the championship? And he said, man, Mike, I tell you, I really wish that I started day 1 instead of about day 20. So he was 20 races off the pace a little bit so far back in points, but I tell you, worked himself all the way up into the top 20, just couldn't crack the top 10 for the chase. But Dwayne Vincent, again, looking real sharp here tonight at Phoenix.
In that battle back with John, I believe it was John Hanna Jr. and Brian Harford, I believe. They've kind of calmed down. They're back to single file racing with, I believe it is Brian Harford has pulled out in front of John Hanna Jr. here.
I want to take you back here to 24th position, John Milwayne. Me and Dakota's talking about being stuck on the bottom. Look at that 61 yellow car stuck on the bottom there. That's Wyatt Wolf trying to put the move on the 22. They've been racing side by side there. You see the 22 slip up just enough, probably, Dakota. You might see Wyatt Wolf slip up in front. He sure does. Opens the door up for Michael Gray and that Vocaloid Chevrolet behind him, though.
Gotta be careful here because it's really easy to wreck the car. You don't want to do anything stupid. But Wyatt Wolf all the way up the track, right next to the wall, trying to make the lane works. He's gonna be able to. He's gonna be side by side with, I believe that's the 11 coming off the corner. He's gonna have a good run going down the front stretch and down the inside of the number 22 of, I believe that is, John Milwayne.
Yeah, now Michael Gray, as you mentioned, working the bottom there. And then you've got Jose Gonzalez, the 58 machine, too, of Justin Wilson in the mix. Now he goes underneath the 22 machine. So this battle all the way back here for the 24th position that Wyatt Wolf holds in turn 4. Things are starting to heat up just a little bit as you see some green flag laps count down here. 16 on the board right now out of 125 laps. Dwayne Vincent still leading the charge here at Phoenix.
That was a close moment for the 2 of Rich Jett and the 85 with Nathan Bowers. Rich going into the corner right behind Nathan Bowers. Nathan Bowers shaped up a lot earlier. Rich was ready for him, but I mean they just about ran into each other right there because 85 getting on the brake just a little bit earlier.
Of course, Nathan Bowers in the 29th spot, trying to get up in front of that Don Q Jose Gonzalez Chevrolet up there. Jose Gonzalez, I tell you, man, this guy's racing all the way out of Puerto Rico. Jose Gonzalez joining the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series a little bit late, just as Dwayne Vincent did. Not really contending for a championship here in Dakota, but obviously contending for a little bit of respect in the league. Jose Gonzalez doing a fine job for the past 6-7 weeks that he's been racing with this league. He's sitting there in 28th. He's got the car to get up there and compete possibly for a top 10, top 15. We should see him move up here in the latter part of this race.
Now, Keith, take a guess who started 28th and is currently running 17th.
I'm going to guess your points leader, Landon Huffman.
And you would have guessed correct, as he's been right on the bumper of RC rigged and following him as RC works traffic right in front of him. I mean, he's just he's getting it easy because RC's doing all the work basically when he puts all the other cars on the outside. And he's able to just make a hole for him. And oh, they make contact.
And there he goes, the number 19 machine RC rigged and around down the backstretch. No caution coming out, but Huffman getting a little bit of piece of that rear end of RC Rigdon as he spins down the backstretch.
I had been watching this too, and RC was landing getting loose.
Yeah, Huffman's car is definitely upset. Huge wreck. Doug Roth in the 20th position. Oh man, that's the Stroker Aces Dodge Charger there. Huffman, like you mentioned, Dakota, got loose, and that's what set that chain reaction off. Huffman, although escaping any kind of harm, but Doug Roth not so fortunate.
Yeah, Huffman wheeled that car coming off that corner. I mean, it was sideways, but fortunately when everybody else got to the brakes, they got too hard. Locked up the front brakes, looks like, and half of them got turned around, the half of them just running into each other.
Yeah, that's a tough break there for Doug Roth, and somebody power drove him from behind. Huffman almost, there you see on the replay there, Huffman getting a little loose, and there he is, the STP car, and then the 83 of, I think that's Jay Horton that's being spun there up top, but the 43 there, the red and blue STP Stroker Aces Dodge Charger, Doug Roth, hard lick into the inside wall, the 83 also hard lick to the outside wall. Caution out on the speedway though, Dakota. Will the leaders come down pit road this time?
Seeing a lot of people coming down pit road. Everybody coming down pit road actually. Don't think anybody stayed out there at all. Nobody stayed out there. Only person staying out there was a pace car. But everybody coming down. And I expect 22 laps on these tires. You're going to see 4 tires in fuel from everybody. I think it's purely play a strategy kind of game right now.
Yeah, and you got to think 22 laps into this race. It went green flag. The right side's going up on RJ Williams' machine. Like you mentioned, he'll take left sides, and I think he may beat, his crew may beat the 13 out, Dakota, and does he? Did the 21 beat Dwayne Vincent out of pit road? It looks like so.
That's a close call. I mean, you gotta wonder if they'll make him give it back. I'm gonna go back looking at the replay, and I mean, it's really, really close.
I saw the crew come around to the left sides first on RJ Williams' side, and then they went to Dwayne's side. It was like a half a second difference there, but it might have been enough. It looks like race officials are keeping the number 13 machine in second place behind RJ. RJ Williams, your new leader here at Phoenix.
I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and step away, take a quick commercial break, and be right back, Keaton.
Sounds good, absolutely. We'll take the commercial break. Don't you change that station. Phoenix International Raceway with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. We'll be right back after these messages. Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to go off. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, and we got 1 car on the bottom, the 10 car.
And we're back. Green flag just now being brought out here at Phoenix International Raceway. R.J. Williams, race leader, going to pick up the green flag and also pick up those ever so good-looking bonus points right now, Dakota.
And caution is out.
Oh no, it looks like it happened way up front there. Big checkup. I'm thinking though that the caution actually came out with R.C. Rigdon, who was running 28th position at the time. Also being hit in the process, Nathan Bowers in the 85 machine, the 12 machine, Doug Roth once again. And oh no, looks like the ETV machine of Ed Williams Jr. also involved.
Yeah, I think that's the second incident RC's been in as well, as he was in one with Landon Huffman just a few laps ago.
Well, it almost looks like they almost come to a complete stop ahead of him. I mean, R.C. Rigdon there, you see right now on your E-Play E-Wine machine right here, the R.C. Rigdon, that's the lime green machine that you see down there at the bottom of the racetrack. Here's the green flag. And then there's going to be a huge checkup. You'll see it. There's the checkup. There's R.C. Rigdon, middle screen, hits the 3, spins out in front of the 85 there that you see there. White car inside the wall there, and then that's what brought the caution out right on the front stretch here, Dakota.
That's unfortunate, really quick caution. I was wanting to see what Dwayne Vincent could do with R.J. Williams, because the way the drafting model seems to be now is the car up front is usually the car to beat, because when you get back in the draft, it seems like the front end gets real heavy and the back end just wants to slide out really easy. So it's going to be interesting to see whether Dwayne Vincent can get back around R.J. Williams or if he's going to be stuck behind him.
And just to run you through the top 10 here, we're only 27 laps into this thing, so just under 100 laps to go. R.J. Williams being shown out front. Dwayne Vincent, who started this race on the pole position, being shown second. Keldrez back. Also being shown third, Steve Ritter. Fourth place, C.J. Lavere in that number top 5 spot. Rick Fouts just outside the top 5 and 6. Brian Hartford, good running for him right now in the 01 machine, running 7th. Jonathan Cadell, I talked to him before the race. I said, good luck, man. He said, I'm going to need it. Thanks. Hey, he don't need it so far. He's running 8th. John Hanna Jr. in the 9th spot, and rounding out the top 10 here, Dakota at Phoenix, Nathan Little in the 97. But the night is young, Dakota, as Bill Springsteen once said, the night is young. And at Phoenix International Raceway, it really is just under 100 laps to go. It's still anyone's ball game. Landon Huffman, your points leader, who started tonight's race 28th, being shown 18th position right now, so move him up a couple of spots. Huffman nearly escaping a wreck earlier on here. No damage though done to that machine. 75 of Landon Huffman, that pro driver, running good right now, Dakota.
One of the cars who was almost basically involved with R.C. Rigdon actually being told by the race officials he's going to be held 2 laps on pit road for being involved in a wreck on the restart, so R.C. Rigdon running into more bad luck.
And we mentioned 36 drivers taking the green flag. Interesting note here though, 5 cars only being shown a lap or 2 down. That's Douglas White in 32nd, Doug Roth, who's just had a terrible turn of events here. 2 wrecks in a row for him. Basically an innocent bystander on both. He's being shown a lap down. R.C. Rigdon also 2 wrecks in a row for him. He's being shown a lap down. Nathan Bowers a lap down, and Stephen Herring 2 laps down here. So stuff's starting to tick away here as time goes by, Dakota.
Yes. It's like Rick Fouts actually having some kind of technical difficulties with the car. If I was on pit road, I would let you know what's going on, but I'm not, so as we get set to go green flag racing again, Michael Pete.
Pace car dipping down low. The 21 machine leads them to the green. Good jump for him. Dwayne Vincent, not so lucky. He may get past here in turn 2. Keldrez back, looks underneath. Nothing there, shuts the door. Dwayne Vincent holds on to second. Race leader R.J. Williams starts to pull away out of 2.
The thing that's really bad about being second position is, I mean, you've got to almost drive the car really hard to keep, because, I mean, if you mess up, as we have a wreck, the 4, solid.
Big wreck, Dakota.
Yeah, I was watching that, and that all started up front in about 5th position, 4th and 5th position. I saw the 4 of C.J. LeVere getting into somebody there, and that was actually Steve Ritter, who got turned around in front of the whole field.
Yep, Steve Ritter in that number 4 position, being shoved by that number 4 into the wall there. Man, I tell you, it doesn't take much there. It doesn't look like it was intentional. The 16, though, Steve Ritter being flip-flopped and flung around. He took an e-ticket ride and, man, took out a lot of good folks there again. Caution on the speedway.
Landon Huffman, once again, sneaking through that one.
Yeah, and it's being shown in your replay right now. The 4 right there going underneath. The 16 machine got a little loose, as you can see, and then just could never really connect it back together. The 16 of Steve Ritter being shown right there in front of you, spinning, hits that wall. Now watch this, folks. This is what we call an e-ticket ride here on ETV Network. He's right there spinning, and here it is. The 67 machine shoves him from behind and puts him all 4 tires up in the air. Man, I tell you, Steve Ritter's badly damaged, Dakota. I don't know if he'll be able to come back out there. You see 44 there of Glenn Campbell, that Penske machine, also being involved. And as you mentioned, the 75 machine, once again, Landon Huffman escaping death here at Phoenix.
It's like I said at the beginning, it's Phoenix is going to be an interesting racetrack. I think I told you this earlier before the show. These guys are just sliding out the corner sometimes, and I mean going in. The setup that a lot of these guys are using is just really difficult to drive. This track in itself is very, very difficult.
Well, and as you mentioned, that second place position, just think about the 4th place position, the 6th place position, and all the positions behind R.J. Williams, who's in first right now. But as you mentioned, Dwayne Vincent, who's solidifying that 2nd place, he's got Kildrez back breathing down his neck, and then not to mention R.J. Williams, the leader that he's trying to chase down and pass. So, like you mentioned, he's got to go into turn hard, he's got to come off the turn hard, and then he's got to go rocket down the backstretch, get through that little dogleg chicane or tri-oval in the backstretch, whatever you want to call it, and then he's got to get into 3 and 4 the same exact way as 1 and 2.
Douglas White being waved around, he got his lap back, so now we don't have, I don't believe we have as many cars 1 lap down or more. Actually, we have about the same because Steve Ritter actually being a lap down now. But TJ LeVere also getting an EOL penalty for being in that wreck. But Keith, you want to know what these guys are chasing? Next week, I believe Homestead is when this award is given out.
Absolutely, Dakota. It's that Bob Earl racing cockpit seat that these guys all year long have been fighting for. I'm going to tell you something about this thing. Bob Earl designs it. He's a championship race car driver. He knows what it's like to be behind the racing seat, and he wants you to feel the exact same way in the comfort of your home. This design features a fully adjustable racing seat and frame that also comes with an additional mounter stand and a shifter mount that can be bought separately. But I tell you, for $349 plus shipping, you can't get one no better than nowhere else than BobEarlRacing.com. This is what they're fighting for. Bob's giving up one of his seats for the championship contender here at Homestead next week. We'll be joined by him in the booth. It's going to be exciting, and I know Bob Earl can't wait to give that seat away to the championship driver here with RSR.
I can't wait for next season too. I think this is going to be a very exciting season, and we've picked up a lot of business as it is. I feel like we're going to have some really, really talented drivers in here next season, and it's going to make this a really close championship next season.
Absolutely, and we're just being shown by race officials that the number 19 machine, R.C. Rigdon, has been black flagged. We'll get some more information on that as it comes to us, but the 21 machine, green flag here at Phoenix International Raceway as R.J. Williams leads the field down into 1 on lap 35.
Tell you who was the loser in our restart was the 97. Nathan Little actually rolled up on the car in front of him, and he had to check up so he didn't run him over. And then the leader took off, which really put him in a bad position because he checked up the whole inside lane and lost a lot of spots as R.J. Williams drives away from Dwayne Vincent. Was a wreck on the track again.
44 machine, Glenn Campbell running 9th place, guys. Looks like the 67 Dodge Charger of Brian Harvey getting into the back. Chad Schilling involved. Oh man, a host of cars involved. 33 David Lanza, Ronnie Potts may have blown that motor. And let me tell you something, the 75 machine of Landon Huffman involved. Not able to escape death this time. Landon Huffman, points leader, is involved again.
That's unfortunate. I don't know how much damage he has. Can't quite get a very good view here, but I'm sure that's not helping because he got hit very, very hard on the front end. Looked like they could really tamper with his engine, you know, not blowing up or blowing up.
Yeah, Lennon Huffman involved, Dakota. He's got extensive front end damage. He was right there behind David Lanza in the number 33 machine when that caution broke out. Again, that's your points leader, who's just a hair ahead, if you will, of R.J. Williams, who's leading the race here. 2 to go. 2 races to go, and Landon Huffman's in trouble here at Phoenix.
Not good for Landon Huffman, but I mean,
here we go, on board with Landon. This is the on board of Landon's roof cam. You see Chad Schilling, that Carolina blue car right in front of him, the lightning on the back, the yellow is Glenn Campbell. This is the wreck. 67 gets into him, there it is. There you see it, slow-mo here, there's David Lanza to the left, right in front of him. Huffman looks safe from this point, but the 67 turns right up into Lanza and collects Huffman, the points leader, and there you have it, folks. All 4 cars, 5, 6 cars on the outside wall there, and I can't imagine but to think that Huffman's just shaking his head, Dakota.
probably. I mean, he just survived 2 or 3 right there, and then just
Yeah.
the last one. I mean, he was lucky for a little while, but you can only be so lucky in a race, especially from where he started. He was coming to the front, and I wouldn't be surprised if he still didn't get up there and get a top 5 out of it.
Well, he did pit. Did not take any tires, though. Well, actually, he did take some tires. I think right sides only, but most of the work being done to fix that machine. He's going to hot lap it here, if you will, trying to catch the field to see what it's got. He's going to come back down pit road, still damage to be fixed on that machine. So that, again, that's your points leader, Landon Huffman, who's in the points lead ahead of R.J. Williams, who's right now being shown your race leader 38 laps into this one. When we return, green flag racing at Phoenix International Raceway with a Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. Don't you go away. And we're back. Green flag racing just being shown on the speedway here at Phoenix. R.J. Williams, race leader here at Dakota, going into 1. He's going to have the 13, though, machine of Dwayne Vincent, who's about 2 car lengths behind. Dwayne looking for that back-to-back win here at Phoenix. He won last week at Texas. I'm sure Phoenix would not be a nice payout for his team as well.
Now, I'm starting to wonder if Dwayne Vincent's kind of in a hurry right now, if he's realizing that he can't go more than a lap.
Yeah, and you got to think, you know, Dwayne Vincent, he wants to end this season strong. He just closed into about 2 car lengths now of R.J. Williams, who's running first. But Vincent wants to finish this series strong, go into the next season, 2013 season, with a head of steam, if you will, because Dwayne Vincent's got the car to beat week in, week out. He's always up there. Caution again being shown now on the Speedway, Dakota.
Yeah, so that looks like the 16 and the 19 of I know the 19's RC rigged him, but looking down here, the 16, trying to figure out Steve Ritter getting into him. I believe that was putting him around, and also Landon Huffman actually, I believe, got into that one again.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be for positions 15th with Steve Gottschalk. The 66 machine running 17th, just, I'm telling you, he delivers a hit to that Nerf machine there in front of him. And that takes RC Rigdon out, and as you mentioned, Lennon Huffman going right through him there. Another wreck here, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what's going on with RC. He, when he wrecked, he kind of stayed on the track, so he's still parked on the track.
There you see the 91 machine, the black car, the Nerf, the 61's behind him in the yellow, the 66, those who we're looking for. He's right behind the 91. Here you'll see him coming to your screen. The tap right there gives it to RC Rigdon. He hits the wall, and then Huffman's right there in the middle. That red, blue, and gray scheme of Huffman involved as well. And, man, I tell you, to start this race, it looked really good, Dakota. And then for the past 9 laps or 10 laps, we've just had wreck after wreck, caution after caution, and you know, a lot of these guys are damaged, so they're not really for sure how the car's going to handle, and that might be the root of some of these cautions that we're seeing.
Yeah, but you know what cautions are great for, Keaton?
Cooling the tires down?
Well, they're great for that.
Yes and no.
Commercials and plugging sponsors.
Oh, absolutely, Dakota. I'm going to tell you something. Star Car Evolution. Hey, if you don't have anything to do, check them out. Sunday nights, startcarevolution.com. Do you have what it takes? This is an R-Factor sim outside of iRacing, but I tell you, these guys really know what they're doing over there. And a lot of good racing and action going on Sunday nights. With Star Car Evolution 2012, ETV doing a couple of their broadcasts, and there's so much more that happens over there at startcarevolution.com. So check them out. After the race, don't go nowhere. You're watching RSR Full Throttle Cup Series on ETV, so don't wander off just yet. Wait till the race is over before you go to startcarevolution.com.
I want to take the time here to ask everybody one small question here. Have you ever tried hauling something, a little small S10 or, I mean, something real huge, a lot of stuff, moving a house, I mean, just a lot of stuff, hauling it in some little small truck or some small vehicle? I can guarantee you it's not the greatest thing, it's not the easiest thing, you know, it takes a lot of time, you get a lot of trips, you know, there and back and whatnot, but there's an easy way to do that, and it's with Gary Mercer Trucking. I mean, you call them, especially if your truck is too small for the load, you can get a real truck to haul it. And they were sponsored in the Friday Night Showdown. We don't quite do that anymore, but it's still going on. If you race on iRacing, you just race Friday nights, and they're still in the points. With storage facilities in the U.S. and Canada, approved and fast express drivers, Gary Mercer Trucking Inc. is the best choice to haul your load. Give the old pickup a rest. Call Gary Mercer Trucking.
Of course, and you can check them out at gmercer.com. That's G as in Gary, Mercer, MERCER.com. Again, don't go nowhere just yet. You're watching live action at Phoenix here, and we're set to go green as the 21 machine, R.J. Williams, who's trying to track down Landon Huffman, who's your points leader going into tonight's race. He's trying to come up with some sort of steam to go into Homestead with, hopefully trying to capture that championship Bob Earl Racing cockpit seat.
Caleb Dresbeck had a pretty good run going into turn number 1 and 2, but he backed out of it just so he could keep on the bottom and not run up the track into Dwayne Vincent. Looks like Dwayne Vincent's still holding off second, but he's going to run down R.J. Williams.
Yeah, looking at third position, which is Caleb Dresbeck right now, the A8 machine of Adam Roberts on the outside. He's fighting for that third position. As you mentioned earlier, Dakota, that bottom lane just can't give you the grip out as you see Adam Roberts edge him down the front stretch into 1 here. Let's see if Kel can still hang on to third. He's going to try to drift up the track, though he's not going to be able to do it, or is he? Yes, he is. Kel Dresbeck hangs on to third.
Barely is the 88. Oh, almost making it. That's Adam Roberts almost getting into Wayne Vincent there.
There's your 4X on the 01 machine of Brian Hartford, who takes over fourth. Uh-oh, Adam Roberts, we're hearing's around inside, outside wall, yeah. Looks like 84 machine spun out, too. That's Jimmy North on the front stretch. 2 different accidents here. See if we can't bring it up on the E-Wine machine here is R.J. Williams you're looking at right now, being shown the race leader. Caution out at Phoenix here again, Dakota. But it looked like that was two different accidents, although Adam Roberts, the guy you see right there on the screen, the 88 blue machine Chevrolet right there, Kildrezbak's going to get right up in front of him. Adam Roberts is probably car going to get a little unsettled. Him and the orange machine make a little bit of contact. There's a 4X for you. Adam Roberts is fine from that point, but it's when he tries to come back down, and that was on the 97 machine of Nathan Little, I believe. And there you see the Miller Chevrolet going into the outside wall there, and then in front, look up ahead. You see the car spinning right in front of traffic on the front stretch. You see the smoke? Man, I tell you, two different wrecks on the same caution, if you will, Dakota. And Adam Roberts' day could be done.
I'll tell you what is really not smart. I'm not sure what's going on, but I believe who was the leader, R.J. Williams, came down pit road. Almost everybody else stayed out, so he's got a lot of cars to go to. Dwayne Vincent will resume the lead.
I know, Dakota. I just saw that. I was thinking the exact same thing. Is everyone pitting? No, it was just R.J. Williams. And you got to wonder if the crew chief made him come down, or if that was a decision by the driver of R.J. Williams there to come down and get some fuel and some new tires, or what. But I tell you, the two teammates out front here, that's Dwayne Vincent back on the point in first. Behind him, teammate Kildrezbak in that 45 machine. They're part of the red that's AZZ Racing team. Both of those guys sporting the same exact paint scheme for the most part. One's gold, one's orange. The orange one belonging to Dwayne Vincent, who's leading this race.
Wasn't he called the Pumpkin last week, I believe?
Yeah, he was. He was called the Pumpkin. Dwayne Vincent, I tell you, always taking the jokes, but I tell you, he's a great race car driver, Dakota. You know, last week at Texas, bringing home the victory, and he looks really good right here at Phoenix. And you just got to wonder, I mean, you know, looking at this guy's stats, I mean, if he would have started race one, you know, with the Huffmans, with the Williams Juniors, and Abbott's and those folks that's right here in the top 10, you know, you got to wonder, where would Vincent fit in that picture at? Would he be in the top 5 right now? I think so.
Yeah, I got to think so as well. And I want to bring in Joshua Harbison. I know he was off trying to work out a deal where we'll get a pumpkin in victory lane if he gets to victory lane. So, Josh, welcome back.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I hadn't tracked down a pumpkin yet, but I'm still looking.
Josh, what do you think of the 13 machine? Dwayne Vincent, been shown your race leader, started on the pole tonight, finished first last week in Texas. Do you figure him in the top 5, top 10 here in points if he started day one with this group?
Oh yeah, the way he's been running, I figured he'd be if he had made all the races, I figured it'd be Huffman and him and Williams, the top 3. That would have been my guess.
Absolutely. Well, things settling back down here. They're lining up 2 by 2 here, Josh. Gonna take it green flag here. Would complete 52 laps. We're nearly halfway there. We're almost halfway there. And you gotta think Dwayne Vincent's wishing this was it. Wishing this was the green-white checkered here. As teammates out front right now, 1 and 2 on row 1. Pace car going to dip down low here. Phoenix International Raceway. We're green flag, and Dwayne Vincent to the lead.
Yeah, and falling back behind him was Kildrezbak. He's been hanging in there pretty good this race.
Yeah, he has. Kildrezbak's been running 3rd, 4th consistently for the most part of this race. He started 3rd and is real familiar with that spot. And Josh, did you hear about Landon Huffman, points leader, getting involved in a couple of wrecks? He's been shown all the way back in 18th position with a little bit of damage on the lead lap, though.
Yeah, I'm watching him right now, and he's actually 2 wide with the 66 Michael Gray at the moment. Actually 3 wide.
Looks like that is a battle for 15th position. Michael Gray takes a little bit of the grass. Will he spin out here on the 4th and 3rd? Yep, he's out. Caution.
Yeah, to the 16 of Ritter with him. It looks like, actually, it might not have been the 16.
66 machine in 16th spot. Michael Gray Josh, he took a little bit of that rumble strip, got into the grass, and just kind of never really gained track. Grip back, come up into turn 3, hit the 91 machine of Steve Gottschalk, sent him hard into the outside wall. Heavy smoke coming from that machine.
Yeah, once you, as sharp as these turns are, if you get loose or you lose it that close to the turn, you're going back up on the track, and there's no way someone behind you is going to miss you.
You see Huffman right there in the middle, almost 3 wide. I think that might have been what Michael Gray was thinking, and then he was going to try to stay low, a little bit too low, and there's the Nerf car right there. Jimmy North in the Lowe's machine that you see also getting into the back end of the 66 Vocaloid Chevrolet of Michael Gray there in turn 3. Devastating lick to him, and caution out once again here at Phoenix. Looks like a lot of most drivers coming up pit road, leaders electing to stay out. Dwayne Vincent still being shown on the racetrack. Rick Fouts being shown the wave around. He'll get the lucky dog here. He had a little bit of electrical problems earlier on. He qualified 4th position in that set. Put that 78 machine on the board, 4th quickest with a 26.923, just edging out Steve Ritter with a 943. But Rick Fouts, nonetheless, back on the lead lap here, Dakota, and that 78 machine being shown in 25th place. Could we see the Rick Fouts machine make his way up through the field now once he's back on the lead lap?
Well, I think he's got several waybys now. I think it's his 2nd or 3rd one now. As I'm gonna look back here, I know he's got 3 in total that I see right off the top of my head, and I mean that's a lot. He's still coming back down pit road. I assume that he's still got a little bit of damage, possibly after being 3 laps down. That I mean, he might have a little bit of trouble coming back to the field. It's going to be one to watch. I mean, it's like Landon Huffman's still coming down pit road. He's still got loads of damage that they're trying to fix. So I mean, it's going to be something you got to keep your eye on. But the way this track is, I think that there's a slim chance that he may not come back.
You know, and too, you got to think, Josh. Wow, what a break for Landon Huffman. He's been in a couple of wrecks, but they haven't really been that bad. I mean, he's got some damage on the right front. It might cause him to push a little bit, but with the cautions that we're having, you got to think that the crew's getting so much time to work on that car, and that they might settle it out.
Yeah, you know the crew's happy about all this. They get to bring the car in, they get to fix the damage as best they can. They have plenty of time to do it and don't have to go as many laps down as they would had it been a green flag stop.
Earlier we told you 5 cars were off pace, being shown a couple of laps down. Now there's 10 cars, starting with Michael Gray being 3 laps down, Nathan Bowers, Chad Schilling, Jay Randall Watkins putting up the double digits, 11 laps down, David Lanza, R.C. Rigdon, Glenn Campbell. Those 2 guys being shown 18 laps down. Ronnie Potts, Brian Harvey being shown 20 laps down, Steve Ritter 21 laps down, and Stephen Herring 25 laps down, being shown 36. So 25 drivers out of 36 now being shown on the lead lap here as the pace car lights are off. Josh, we're going to take this thing back to green one more time.
I'll tell you what, guys, Chad Cole and Guy Steiner, teammates from Team Manchild Motorsports Incorporated, actually did not show up. Remember, they are running up in the top, I believe it was the top 5 points or top 10 at least. Both of them were up there in the points, and none of them showing up that night.
Yeah, I was thinking that I didn't see that DeWalt Ford anywhere on the racetrack, Dakota. Big tough break for him. I'm wondering what's going on with that crew. Maybe we can find out a little bit more information as the race progresses. But back to green flag racing here. Dwayne Vincent being shown the race leader. He's going to take it through the backstretch here, Josh, into 3 and 4 with the lead.
Yeah, he's been getting a good jump on Kel Dresbach on the restart, so he's got the restarts down pretty good. And the biggest battle right now, I guess, would be for second out of the top 5, I think.
Being shown in the number 7th position right now, Justin M. Wilson, the Margaritaville Jimmy Buffett Chevrolet, going underneath the door of John Hanna Jr. in that 6th machine. Justin M. Wilson, also one of those late bloomers here with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, getting a late start. But this guy, I tell you, he's in the mix almost in the top 10 week in, week out as he solidifies the number 6 spot now on the board.
Yeah, and back in 13th, you got 2 wide with John Abbott and R.J. Williams, and as I say that, Abbott takes position from R.J.
Yeah, and mention R.J. Williams there, Josh. You know, he pitted and gave up the lead, and now he's in the back trying to work his way, pickpocket the field, if you will. John Abbott, as you mentioned, just ahead of him, so he's got some work to do, the R.J. Williams crew there. But man, I tell you, right behind him, Landon Huffman, points leader, being shown 13th position, involved with those wrecks. But looking at the front end of that car, man, I tell you, pit crew doing a fine job of getting that car back under racing conditions.
Yeah, and it looks like he might actually be able to take R.J. as he, well, he had a run on him on the other turns, but we'll see what happens. That'll cost R.J. a little bit, definitely in the points, because he pitted and nobody else did.
And that purple car that you see to the outside, that's not Barney. That's Keith Brooks Jr. in the KB Design Chevrolet. He was running 9th, and then Abbott got by him, Williams got by him, and then, of course, Huffman underneath as well. That's one thing, Dakota, that these guys got to be careful about, being stuck on that outside. Sometimes it can be bad. If you lose momentum and allow the inside lane to get the grip, then you'll go backwards, as we just seen the Keith Brooks Jr. machine do that, Dakota.
What do you mean that's not Barney? I'm kind of upset with you now, but yeah, because I believe I heard wrecking someone on the track. I'm not sure, but yeah, the outside lane can be dangerous. It's like I said, you want to be there off the corner, but you don't want to be there going in the corner. So it's really a tricky decision on whether to go up there or not, because you can't get freight trained. You don't have the right line, and especially after about 5 laps. I mean, after that, it doesn't really work as well.
We just seen points leader Landon Huffman get by John Abbott, who was 11th position. Now Landon move him up to 11th. In front of him, R.J. Williams moved up into the 10th spot now. But want to take you back up here to the 3rd spot. Brian Harford, Nathan Little, battling for 3rd and 4th there. They're right there on the 2 race teammate leaders there of Dwayne Vincent and Kel Drasbach. So, Josh, they're not really escaping the leaders not. This draft model really in effect here at Phoenix International Raceway.
Yeah, they're hanging in there pretty good, and we'll see what they can see if they can hold on to it or close the gap and take 2nd for Cal Drasbach. But both those cars up front are running pretty strong right now.
And Keaton, if you think the draft model's big here, I can't wait to see it at Homestead. Just going off of what the B car is, an Asian-wide car, it is a very intense, extreme draft. And I mean, it's I had a perfect car. You can take a perfect car out there, and it will drag because you have so much downforce from all the draft. It's going to be insane, I feel, with this Cup car.
Yeah, and you can really see right now. You can really see right now here at Phoenix, seeing the top 5 here, really nose to tail, Josh and Dakota. You know, so Homestead, almost the same type looking track. You'll see a lot of that though. The draft model, this new draft model, keeping cars really close. I kind of like that. I mean, it makes racing more entertaining. You know, we've seen some weeks where Huffman or whoever would be leading pull out to a 2-second, 3-second lead, and then the race would really be back in 13th and 14th position. So this is making the holding that number 1 spot on the track kind of dangerous, or more forgiving.
Anywhere on the track can be dangerous. The leader, I would actually say the leader is probably the best spot. You know, because you're up front, but it can be dangerous. It can be dangerous, especially with the new draft model. When you get up front, people can stick to your bumper when they're not actually nearly as quick. I mean, you could have slow guys sticking with the leader, depending on what car it is and just how slow the car is. They can actually stick with the leader just because of this draft model. It's really insane how well it works and how it keeps all the cars together. You can come off of turn 2 having hit the wall. I've heard people saying going to turn 3 at Michigan and be making a pass to the inside, like guy that you just completely lost the draft from or almost lost the draft from after you hit the wall. So it's really a big effect here, and it's going to make the racing more intense.
Right, and now you see Dwayne Vincent, who's actually coming up on a little bit of lap traffic. That's the 98 machine Steve Herron in 31st, Chad Schilling, who's battling a really ill-handed race car right now, and also Nathan Bowers in that white RSR Chevrolet. All those guys laps down, more than 2 laps down, and Dwayne Vincent's starting to catch him. He's using their draft to a little bit of his benefit as he pulls away from teammate Kildrez back into 1 by about 2 or 3 car lengths.
Yeah, they need to make sure that when he gets that draft, he's not going to overdrive that corner, because one little slip up and Dresback's right by him.
Yeah, Josh, he may have overdrove it just a little bit, because Kel really closed in the gap. And now they're trying to go here, work around Chad Schilling, that blue machine to the outside. Dwayne Vincent's going to hang it down, completing lap 72 here. Of course, over halfway, and Kildrez back now closes it in to about 2 car lengths, maybe 1.5 coming off 2, Josh.
Yeah, lap traffic's definitely slowing him down, and yeah, it looks like he did overdrive that corner and let his teammate catch up a little bit. But at least pulling out a little bit now.
Sorry there for interrupting you. I thought you was done there, but Keaton, I just really wanted to say this. The pumpkin is by the blueberry.
Yeah, the Chad Schilling blueberry there, man, I tell you, Chad's fighting an ill-handling race car, isn't he? I mean, that 25 Carolina Lightning Chevrolet, the blueberry, has been bit, and it might be a bad blueberry.
Well, let's just say somebody like took a bite of that blueberry and there's only like half of it left.
Yeah.
The toe was knocked out of that machine. Just looking at it, you can see that the toe is knocked out and it's causing him some time because he's got to have the wheel almost 90 degrees to the, I believe it might be the left, just going down the straightaway and then going to the corner, and you got to turn the wheel even more to turn. So I mean, it's a lot of work to keep that car straight right now, and I guarantee it's not easy.
But just to show you the heart of a competitor, I mean, let's just look at Chad Schilling. I mean, he's 6 laps down. He's in 27th spot. He's got that real ill-handed looking race car. He's got the toes knocked off on it. He's sitting there in his cockpit right now, driving the heck out of it. But he's staying on the racetrack, Dakota, and to me that just shows his heart. I mean, you know, he could easily just pull down pit road, give up, and go home. But he chooses to stay out, complete laps. He wants to finish the season off on a strong high note. That way 2013 kicks off. He's ready for it. He's got that momentum swing, if you will, going into the 2013 series. So, you know, props to him and the rest of these guys that you see out on the racetrack, including Stephen Herring being shown 26 laps down in 31st place, same position. Nathan Bowers also. So these guys, man, I tell you what, my commends for you for staying out, completing the laps, getting the points.
Yeah, while y'all talking about all that, if you notice, Landon Huffman has dropped back 3 positions from 10th. Him and RJ got in it a little bit and almost took both of them out.
Josh, could that be a sign possibly of the Huffman machine, you know, that right front maybe wearing down because the car's just not handling right because of the damage, do you think? Or was it just a contact there between RJ and Huffman?
Well, Landon had been trying to take RJ inside for a couple laps, and he just couldn't complete the pass, and it looked like he tried too hard and got into the right rear of RJ, and they both got sent up the track, kept it out of the wall. They're still running, but Landon Huffman's dropped back to 13th.
Yeah, and if you look behind him, guess who that is? That's Rick Fouts. The guy, Dakota, Josh, that's been battling 3 laps down, has got back on the lead lap, and he's now on the mission to get into the top 10, possibly passing the points leader here, Huffman, in the next couple of laps. But Rick Fouts showing a little bit of horsepower out of that Sunday Money Chevrolet going down the front stretch.
Yeah, and I don't know if that damage hurt Huffman a little bit, but he hasn't been able to close the gap up like he used to be able to against RJ. So he's rubbed off that right front, or that little contact caused a little bit more damage.
Again, if you're just now joining us, we're live here at Phoenix International Raceway, race number 9 here with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. This is it, race number 9, and then they go to Homestead next week for the championship. And of course, if you're watching the broadcast, if you look down below, you'll see a little chat screen there. You can sign in. You don't need a password. There's plenty of you out there watching. There's some guys in the chat room that's just blowing it up. We're trying to take questions, stuff like that. So come in and chat with us. Don't be ashamed or shy. And we'll talk to you as the race progresses, as Dwayne Vincent continues to pull teammate Kildrez back that you see on the screen there in 2nd spot. that 45 car.
Yeah, those two are definitely running strong tonight, but you gotta look at the two guys in 3 and 4. They've been sticking with them the entire race. So we'll have to see just either one of them make a mistake. I guarantee you 3rd and 4th place is going to take advantage of it.
Let's look at 8th position, guys. That Don Q again, Jose Gonzalez and that Don Q Rums of Puerto Rico. He's got that car dialed in tonight, but I'll tell you, into the 8th position. And if you remember, Jose started the race in 30th spot. Didn't put a Q lap down, but he's up to 8th. So that's 22 gain spots for that machine. So Jose Gonzalez having a really, really fine day here at Phoenix so far.
That 11 crew has impressed me. They're not a guy that, or a team, I mean, you wouldn't even expect to be up front, and they're in the top 10. I mean, I've kind of seen them more as a top 15, top 20 car, but I mean, top 10 is usually not standing in front for them. I know they usually have a little bit of trouble, as he's not even racing. It's probably not, he's not his kind of hours. I believe this would be about the time to be asleep right now, but I mean, he's doing extremely well, and I have a feeling that he's not done yet. He's probably going to break through to the top 5 tonight, would be my guess, and that's my pick, I guess. Is my kind of surprise pick to win tonight. To win tonight would be Jose Gonzalez. Yeah, I can't pronounce his last name.
Jose Gonzalez, yeah, and you know, and as we keep talking about Jose here, he's actually closing in on the 6th place of Justin Wilson and John Hanna Jr. in that number 6 spot as well. And he's also bringing Rich Jet, the Stroker Races Chevrolet, with him. As you see, Rich Jet may go underneath here. The 11 machine slipping up the racetrack just a little bit. He'll let Rich Jet take that position over, but nonetheless, they're gaining on 6th and 7th spot. Josh?
Yeah, 6th and 7th, they were battling for the last couple of laps, and they gave them the opportunity to close the gap a little bit. It looks like they've worked themselves out. John Hanna Jr. is going to pull away from Justin Wilson, I believe.
Sorry. Fortunately, Pumpkin has won around the Blueberry once again.
Yeah, I was just about to mention Chad Schilling. There you see him again being shown another lap down as the leaders put him down. But Dwayne Vincent, man, I tell you, the guy out front to beat right now, Dwayne Vincent. Teammate running right behind him, though. Almost nearly a second behind Gil Dresbach in that 45 machine. When we return to Phoenix International Raceway from this break, we hope to still be under the green flag condition as laps start to wind down here at Phoenix, as Dwayne Vincent completes lap number 88 out of 125. Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to go off. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, and we got 1 car on the bottom of the 10 car.
And we're back live under caution. Michael King jinxed it, but the Pumpkin's still out front after pit stops. But guess who's in second position after taking 2 right side tires?
Is that the 75 machine, Dakota?
You guessed it.
Man, I tell you, what a dancing move there by Huffman. Here with about 30 laps to go, taking right sides only. You got to think, Dakota, was that Huffman's choice or was that crew chief's choice?
I'd have to say that's probably a crew chief choice, not really a driver's choice. The crew chief's trying to get him out on the track because he knows the driver can work with it.
Man, I tell you though, Josh, if I'm Huffman, I'm really thinking, you know, Chief, you know, right sides only. Everybody's taking 4. I don't know, but hey, that's why the crew chief makes the big bucks, and that's why he's chief.
That is true. Now let's see if normally 2 tires will. Normally 2 tires are going to make the car looser, but that might be what he needs. He's pushing hard in the corners. It might loosen him up just enough to let him turn a little better.
Well, let's see if the right sides only pays off for the 75 machine. Lennon Huffman, points leader, involved in 2 wrecks earlier on. He's got the damage fixed. He's second place. Dwayne Vincent's in the number 1 spot. Teammate right behind him, the 45 of Kel Dresbach. 93 laps when they take the green here at Phoenix International Raceway, Josh. Dwayne Vincent, race leader, coming off for pace car. Lights off, going to dip down low. Dwayne Vincent, green flag here at Phoenix.
Yeah, Dwayne gets a good jump again off the restart, but right behind him is Landon Huffman. Kel Dresbach could not keep up with him on that restart.
Dwayne Vincent, race leader, right in the mix though, 75. Points leader, Huffman, then teammate of Vincent, 45 of Kel Dresbach. He's on the back door. Reach over there to your volume controls. Turn, well, caution's out. Scrape that idea. Chad Schilling, the 83 machine, also Jay Horton, e-ticket ride. Oh man, that's the 22 spot car there. 83, Steve Ritter involved as well. Jay Horton, Josh, took an e-ticket ride though down the backstretch into turn 3.
Yeah, he got hit from the side by looks like Steve Ritter, who just sent him rolling.
I was gonna say not the Blueberry, guys. I was watching Chad Schilling going into that corner of the Blueberry, got right behind the 3 car, and the 3 car who was, let me get that pulled up for you. The 3 is J. Randall Watkins. The 3 checked up going into the travel kind of looking thing in the backstretch, and that caused Chad to check up, and everybody else just ran straight into the back of him, guys.
And here we're going to pull it up here on the E-Wind machine here, as you see. That's Steve Ritter, the white car. Ahead of him, Jay Horton. That's who we're looking at. That's who's going to take the e-ticket ride. Chad Schilling, you know, he's up. He's out of the way. He's trying to get out of the way. And then the 83, Jay Horton, has so much steam, and the 3 machine's so slow there. There you see. Now watch this. Steve Ritter hooks the quarter panel. The 83 is going to get airborne. Let's see if he goes over the fence. That car gets way up there, I tell you. The 83 Jay Horton taking the e-ticket ride on the roof there. Then he goes over Chad Schilling's car there, the 25, and then bam, over the fence. There he goes. There's the air time on ETV for Jay Horton. And here we go, one more time, guys, full speed. This is full speed. This is what it looks like on the track, green flag condition. Again, the car right there in the middle, the gray-looking one, the 83 blue car. Numbers, that's who we're looking at. The Poker Impala Chevrolet in the middle there, the 25 Chad Schilling, there it is. Man, I tell you, Jay Horton taking one wild ride there. It'll be the scene if he gets that car back on the track here, Dakota.
Yeah, it's going to take some work to get that car back on the track. But that was just what they call a racing incident. There was nothing anybody could do. It just happened.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, you can't point the blame to that one on anybody. And in fact, I don't know if anyone's going to be given the EOL penalty for that one. I think the race control is going over that right now, but it's real hard to put that one on, pin that one on somebody.
Yeah, because the Blueberry, the lap car was doing everything he could to get out of the way, to include just lining up and letting them go around, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, and you know, again, Chad Schilling, not really the root of that. Neither was the 3 car, I don't suppose. And of course, Jay Horton was just right there on the raw side of things there. But a couple of cars, in fact, Jay Horton actually now being shown the EOL penalty as he has to go back to the back of the field. So Jay Horton, by race control default, giving him the penalty for that. But in other news, David Lanza, Glenn Campbell, 2 of the strong competitors here at RSR week in, week out, taking their Chevrolets behind the garage here at Phoenix. Their day is done. Again, that's David Lanza, who is in the 28th position, and Glenn Campbell, who's in 33rd, taking the car behind the garage, and say that their day's done, Josh.
Yeah, the 2 teammates, both their team is not getting anything for the end of this race, and same with Jay Horton. And as the pace car just down low there, they go on the restart. Dwayne Vincent gets a really good jump out, and Kel Dresbeck gets a good start, and he's got Landon Huffman pinned on the outside.
Yeah, that was a really quick restart there, and kind of threw me off guard there. Jay Horton being shown a couple of laps down here, though. Dakota, the 75 machine working on the outside of Kel Dresbeck, as Josh mentioned. Man, Huffman's hanging high out there, ain't
The extreme part is he's on 2 tires right now, so he's got 2 old tires on those left sides, and they've been on for quite a while. So I don't know how long he can last. I mean, he has had quite a long time to cool the tires down, but that don't mean a whole lot.
Absolutely, and as you see, again, the 75 in the 3rd spot, and Kel Dresbeck beginning to race, but guess what that's doing for Dwayne Vincent? As we see Dresbeck almost lose it out of 4, he saves it, allowing the 01 machine to come up, sneak on his outside, and Huffman may come down to try to make the move once and for all. He does, cuts off the nose of Dresbeck, and now he falls back to 4th. The 01 now going to make the move and pass him. So Kel Dresbeck, in a matter of just a turn, has moved from 2nd to 4th.
Yeah, it just takes one slip up and you've lost some position, especially when they're freight training behind you.
And now Jonathan Goodell in the 6th spot. Now he goes underneath the 97 machine of Nathan Little, trying to take over that top 5 spot. And ahead of them, man, still action on the track. Brian Hartford looking under points leader. Landon Huffman can't make the move.
Yeah, I wonder how long Landon Huffman can actually hold on to 2nd spot with just 2 tires, because he's going to have to push it and drive it really hard to keep them 2 behind him.
I tell you, Brian Hartford in that 3 machine, that black and blue car, looking really good right now. He's working the back door of Huffman. You got to think, though, Huffman's right front's going to wear out a little bit quicker than these guys, because the left sides are a little bit heated more up and worn out. So more pressure to the right side of that machine as Landon Huffman leads 2nd place to Brian Hartford's 3rd.
Now, if you look back at the 9th, R.J. Williams, he just passed Jose Gonzalez, and he's on his way to the front as well, trying to make up some points.
Yeah, Jose Gonzalez, as we mentioned earlier, cracking into the top 10. He's still in the top 10. He's got Abbott all over the back door, trying to take over that position. And man, I tell you, some stuff up front, Josh, getting a little bit heated here. These guys starting to stack it up a little bit. Huffman on old tires here, right in front of the lead guys here, but hanging on, doing a fine job hanging on that number 2nd position on the racetrack as Brian Hartford now opening up the door to the left side of that machine as they come off too.
Yeah, but Landon Huffman had a good run. With the momentum from the outside, he got right back in front of him.
Man, I tell you, doing a fine job hanging on to that number 2 spot. And now caution out on the speedway. Looks like they're piling it up on the backstretch a little bit. Michael Gray being shown in the 15th. The 71 actually. The 71 machine. Keith Brooks Jr., the one that's going to bring out the caution. He gets turned. The 8 car gets turned. The 6 car, John Hannah Jr. gets turned. Sorry. Bunch of guys on the backstretch though around, Josh.
Yeah, it looked like the 71 came out of the corner and it got a little loose, and the 6 car tapped him and finished the job. And
Doesn't take much, does it, on that dog leg? These cars are already loose. Here we go, the purple car that you see, 71, Keith Brooks design car. That's Keith Brooks Jr. He's on the bottom of the racetrack. They're 2 wide right now. Keep in mind the Nerf car, Steve Gottschalk, he was caught in a wreck earlier. The 6 is John Hanna Jr. There it is. 71 gets a little bit loose, gets off the gas. The 6 doesn't let off, clips that left quarter panel. There you see the left rear smoke going up on the machine, and then 71 going to be going to the outside wall here. Steve Gottschalk, the Nerf car, dodging it, trying to, gets a little loose. He spins out, and there you see the white and green car collected. Ed Williams Jr., the ETV car, he's also involved clipping that car. 71 though, Keith Brooks Jr. taking most of the damage on that one.
yeah, that car is pretty beat up, and actually there's also one car that's done for the day. It's CJ LeVere. He has pulled his car back into the back of the garage. I'm not sure if he was involved in that or not.
Yeah, CJ LeVere, Josh, he must have been involved or something, because he just actually yeah, I think he might have hit the wall and messed that right front up pretty bad, Josh, and he pulled it behind the garage and said, "Look, we're done. We gotta head to the house." Also, being waved around the pace car here, Jimmy North being shown getting 1 lap back. So, as Josh mentioned, CJ LeVere's day is done. The 4 machine, there you see him in the middle screen there, the white car. That's CJ LeVere. Let's see what happened to him. That's Steve Ritter on the inside. They collect. There we go. Just a little bit of a side door swipe there by Steve Ritter and CJ LeVere. And evidently just enough to make that car really upset. And you see Jimmy North going down, Doug Roth on the inside going past him. CJ LeVere again hitting the wall. That car's just way out of shape. And that's not what brought out the caution, though, although in retrospect it could have if things were to continue the way they were. But CJ LeVere taking the higher road, pulling it behind the garage. Josh, his day is done. But now we look at the race leader, Dwayne Vincent. Is he going to pit? No, he stays out here behind the pace car. Then you see Huffman there staying out. Most of the race leaders staying out, Josh. It might look like they're finished pitting here tonight, that they're going to try to run it to the end.
No, it could be. Glenn Huffman stands strong on 2 tires, and we'll see if his 2 versus Dwayne Vincent's 4 is going to work out for him.
Yep, the 2 versus 4. The 2 being on the outside, that's Huffman, and the 4 being on the inside of Dwayne Vincent. Although, Josh, these guys have been green flag racing for about 15 laps on these tires, or 20 laps, so you got to think that the right fronts of Dwayne Vincent and Kel Dresbach's and Brian Hartford's are also starting to wear down to Huffman's wheels.
Yeah, they're wearing all the tires are wearing out. It's just who's going to have the most tire left as the pace car dips down low, and here they go. Dwayne Vincent. Oh, it's a drag race to the start-finish line. Dwayne Vincent and Lennon Huffman got a great jump on that, and they pull away.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. Lennon Huffman got a really good start right there, staying pretty much eye-to-eye with Vincent, and now he's got the momentum off 2. He's got the momentum to the tri-oval there on the backstretch, and he's got the momentum going into 3. Looks like he lost it right there going into 3, doesn't Josh?
I think Dwayne Vincent just about overdrove it. Here comes Lennon Huffman back to the inside, and they're going side by side across the start-finish line. I'm not exactly sure who led that lap. It's so close, and they go 2 wide into 1 and 2.
I think Huffman got the credit for it, although it wasn't much credit at all, maybe a cat whisker. Nonetheless, Landon Huffman now points leader. Hey, Josh, this is how you win a championship. You start on the board in 28th spot, caution's out. We'll get to that in a moment. But Landon Huffman, man, I tell you, this is how you win a championship, starting 28th, getting involved in 2-3 wrecks, getting that damage fixed, making the move, making the pass on Dwayne Vincent, taking over the #1 spot on the track. with about 10 to go, 15 to go.
Yeah, I'm starting to think 2 tires was a great call for Landon Huffman. It must have made his car drive a little bit better or a little bit more how he wanted to, loosening it up. If it did that, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not in the car. But you know, R.J. Williams has been kicking himself in the butt for pitting when nobody else did.
And then you see the caution they're coming out. That was the 6th position car. Oh no, Jonathan Cadell involved in that. Man, I tell you, Jonathan was having a great race tonight. And man, just getting on the brakes there. The 32 Rich Jet getting into the back of him. And man, lifted that machine off the ground. Also in the wreck, 61 White Wolf and Joseph Hayes plowing in, Doug Roth plowing in. Man, I tell you, Jonathan Cadell's probably shaking his head in that car right now.
Yeah, it was a tough break for him. Anything can happen. It is racing, and if you make one mistake, you're just hoping the guy behind you isn't gonna take advantage of it or not realize it, or realize it too late.
See if we can't get that one back up here on the E-Wine machine for you fine folks to watch it again. If you're joining us now, we're about 15 laps to go. Somewhere between the 10 and 15 lap mark, trying to get that settled down because of the yellow flag conditions here. Stuff starts to slow down a little bit. So, but nonetheless, Lennon Huffman being shown the race leader, Dwayne Vincent second, then teammate to Vincent, Keldrez back in third. Lap starting to wind down here at Phoenix, and Josh, it might be shaking up to a good finish. Let's see if Huffman pulls down pit road here. No sir, stays out. He's in it to win it now.
Oh yeah, he stays out, and he's going for the win. I guess he's comfortable enough with the car. Actually, I know he's comfortable enough with the car. Look where he is right now.
Yeah, you know he's got to be real happy right now on the racetrack. Landon Huffman is.
Yeah, if he ends up winning this one, it's going to basically give him the championship, and it's going to be a fight for second. So,
we just seen the 26 machine, Josh. Jonathan Cadell pull that machine behind the garage. His day is done. Rich Jet being shown the EOL penalty for bringing that caution out, being the root of that. He got into the back of Cadell. And then Ed Williams Jr., the ETV Live car, the 65 machine, being shown the lucky dog there. So Ed Williams Jr. going to be back on the lead lap. 19 cars on the lead lap out of 36, Josh.
yeah, for as many cautions we've seen, and that's a pretty good amount.
Yes, in fact it is. I mean, there's been a lot of cautions, and in fact, you know, like we mentioned, you know, we had a good green flag run there at the beginning, then we had that caution. And then it seemed like when they went green, we had another caution. Then they went green, then we had another caution. But that's just, you know, signs of just someone's a little probably damaged from the first caution, and they really don't know what the car's got. That could happen to anybody. It happens to the best of them on Sundays. If you watch the NASCAR series there, you just never know how the car's going to handle after a wreck. So, but these guys here do a fine job week in, week out of racing. A lot of good entertainment. I tell you, the points here is pretty close. And pace car getting set here, Josh, to take us green.
Yeah, it is, and it dives pit road, and Landon Huffman gets a great jump. Dwayne Vincent is falling back a little bit, and Dresbach falls in line in third.
So there we have it. Landon Huffman out front again here at Phoenix. It took him a little bit to get up there, but he's up there and he's looking good. He's got right sides on that machine. The left side of that car is older than Dwayne Vincent, Dresbach, and some of the others that's up there running in the front. But Dwayne Vincent trying to track him down here down the front stretch, Josh, into one.
Yes, he is. And they're 10 to go, and look who's sitting in 5th place is R.J. Williams, and the caution is out on the speed.
I tell you, Josh, again, the 6 machine caution, bringing out the caution there. That's John Hanna Jr. And then taking an e-ticket ride once more at Phoenix here tonight. The 61 of White Wolf down the front stretch right there at the flagman. I'm sure he got a nice view. Smoke pouring from the White Wolf 61 Thrustmaster Chevrolet.
Yes, he did. Looks like he ended up getting stuck in the wall right there, right in front of the flagman as well.
That's just part of it.
Yeah, this has been a rough night for John Hanna Jr. I've seen his car in just about every caution that's come out. He is, in one way or another, got collected in these things. It's been a rough night for him.
Yeah, it really has. And you got to think, right there at the end here, just as you mentioned, passing the 10 laps to go mark, and caution's back out. We're going to run at least 2 to 3 more laps under caution. And, you start to think, this is why the crew chiefs make money. This is why Landon Huffman only took right sides. I mean, it's like it's a great position that he's in.
Yeah. And he might not, the 2 tires, they might have been planning on all these cautions coming out because everybody's got a damaged car. Everybody's going to be fighting for position, especially here in the last laps. And they might just be expecting a couple green lap runs and a lot of yellow flag runs.
And not only are they fighting for positions, Josh, and prestige, but they're fighting for the racing cockpit seat by Bob Earl. Bob Earl puts on the championship series next week at Homestead. He'll crown the champion as Landon Huffman looking really good right now to win it. But BobEarlRacing.com, the website where you can go and order your cockpit today, $349 plus shipping. I'm going to tell you something. Bob Earl knows what it's like to be behind of a racing cockpit, Josh. This guy designs them. He wants you to feel like you're in one when you're at home racing. And this thing comes with so many adjustable features. It's got a racing seat that's adjustable. The frame's adjustable. It's got an additional monitor stand that you can put in it if you're one of those guys that like to run those triple screens. It's also got a shifter mount. If you like to shift the gears like the rest of us, you can order one at BobEarlRacing.com right now. And then you can also watch ATV's live coverage at Homestead Championship Weekend, race number 10 with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series as Bob Earl crowns the champion with a seat.
Yeah, I went and looked at those seats the other day. I really want one. I would rather win it in this series, but it looks like that would be a very nice seat to have. I'm definitely going to end up getting me one at some point in time.
Yeah, and too, Joe, a lot of the guys that we talked to about this, that I talked to and run across about the different seats that's out there, they really like the design and how it's like the style of it to where you can store it if you need to. It's not some huge thing that just takes up your living room and your wife's like, oh no, not that. You can put this on the Christmas list. In fact, get it out right now. Write BobEarlRacing.com cockpit seat. Give it to your wife. Put it on the refrigerator. Whatever you got to do. Give it to your parents if you're out there give it to Santa. Thank you, John. Send it to the North Pole. Give it to whoever you got to. If you celebrate Hanukkah, then you get 7 gifts. Get 7 of them. If you celebrate Christmas, then you can get one. If you don't celebrate at all, you can still ask your wife for it. Who cares, right, Josh? Just as long as you get the seat. I'm telling you, this is the best in the business. BobEarlRacing.com.
Alright, and the lights are off on the pace car. They're lining up too wide. Landon Huffman takes the inside. Dwayne Vincent's going to be on the outside. Let's see if Landon Huffman can get the jump he had beforehand and pull out ahead, or if Dwayne Vincent's going to be able to make it a drag race into one.
And he does. He gets the jump. Dwayne Vincent, second place. He's going to be under attack a little bit. Caution's back out. Caution's back out. The 65 machine looks like Ed Williams Jr. And I think that happened ahead of Ed Williams Jr. And I think it was Jose Gonzalez in the number 9 machine. And it was. He got a real nice tap from Justin Wilson there. Jose Gonzalez, man, I tell you, running real strong. And now he might be out of it.
Yeah, and Ed Williams Jr., he tried to slow up, and I think that's actually what pulled him into Jose Gonzalez. The car gets really tight when you get on the brakes really hard like that.
Yeah, and the 21, excuse me, the 65 machine, the ETV Live Chevrolet Ed Williams Jr. He really did. He got up on those brakes very quick. Here's the restart. Now this is a replay. This is the restart. This is where you're going to see the crash right there. The 11 machine get touched by Wilson. That's Jose Gonzalez in the Don Q silver and white Chevrolet going around 65. There you go. He hits him in the outside, and that's pretty much the rest is history. Now, Josh, the big question is, will this race finish under green, or will we finish this one under caution?
Ooh, I don't know. We have 2 laps left, and I'm not sure if the lights are on the pace car or not right now. They're double wide. We might actually get a 1-lap shootout.
No, the lights are still on, Josh. They're just giving the word that the pace car light's back on. I think these guys are trying to line up by 2 to show the race control that they're wanting to go back green this time, but not going to happen. They're not going to go green this time. Light's still on. Let's see if they come back off, though, here as they cross the finish line. Coming out of 4, Landon Huffman being shown race leader right now, Josh.
Yes, he is. And right behind him is Dwayne Vincent. So if this finishes under caution, you know, Landon Huffman, he's going to get the win, get that bump in the points, but if they're going to let him take 1 or 2 laps, I'd like to see if Dwayne Vincent has anything, or if Landon Huffman has the tires to last the whole time.
Josh, I believe the lights are staying on the pace car, although it's not 100% official yet, but history tells us that when there's 2 to go and the pace lights are on, that's it. The race is over. So if this one finishes under caution, Landon Huffman will have sealed the deal on the championship. There's no way he can lose it unless, I mean, there's just no way. There's no even unless. There's the unless word is not even, you can't even use that word.
Nah, he could probably wreck on the pace lap at Homestead, not run a single lap, and he would probably still claim the championship, because I think it is mathematically impossible.
Yeah, exactly. The unless word is not, there's no unless, Josh. There is no unless. And we are official now. The pace car light's still on. Landon Huffman, man, I tell you, you know, I'm an Alabama fan. Let's talk sports real quick here. And Nick Saban always tells the guys, and if you're a football fan, an avid football fan, you know this. Defense wins championships. And I'm going to tell you, how does defense come into racing? What are you talking about, Michael? What are you talking about, Batman? Well, this is what I'm talking about. The defensive move that Landon Huffman did, Josh, is that he went down pit road and took right sides only. I call that a defense move. And I'm going to tell you something. It pays off. And he clinches the title. Congratulations, Landon. You clinched it, buddy, here at Phoenix International Speedway or International Raceway. Landon Huffman, Josh, showing the defense and winning the championship.
Yeah, he also says that Nick Saban also says the game is they got 60 minutes to play. Well, Landon Huffman had 125 laps to play, and he came from 28 or 26 all the way up to win the race and claim his title. Congratulations, Landon.
Never give up was the crew chief's remarks to Landon Huffman as he rolled off 28 starting grid tonight. Never give up. Landon Huffman getting into a wreck, getting into another wreck. Never give up was the word from the crew chief. Again, Landon Huffman persisted on, persisted on, persisted on. Played a little bit of defense there, if you will. Got out front. Dwayne Vincent could not catch him. Landon Huffman finishes this one under caution here at Phoenix with the checkers in his hand, with the championship in his hand. Landon Huffman. When we return, we'll have the top 3 in the booth with us. Last interview of tonight will be with Landon Huffman, the race championship driver, here with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series when we return. All right, race fans, we're back, and this one's in the books. Phoenix International Raceway, one heck of a show. And Josh, you've caught up with third-place finisher Kel Dresbach, the teammate of Dwayne Vincent. Started third, finished third.
Yeah, I remember with Kel Dresbach. And Kel, man, you had a great race today. Had a strong car, always stuck in the top 3. Tell us about your race tonight.
Oh, it was a pretty good race. There's long green flag runs. There's a few that we did have, I guess, were a lot of fun. I thought I had something for Dwayne there. Every time I get, about a half a car length or so, I'd slip up, go cowboy in the corner or something, slide up into 3, lose him. But I think it'd been fun. Those last 10 laps or so, if we could have went green, me, Landon, and Dwayne, would be a good race.
Yeah, that was a great battle there at the end, at least when it was green. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the teammates at Red Ass Chassis Works, helping me out a lot. We were time together, and also raceskins.com supplies all our paint jobs. Skunk Works, Ohio-made white whiskey, and you guys, DTV, Bob Earl, putting all this stuff on. Do a great job.
All right, well, there's your third-place finisher, Kel Dresbach, and I'm going to step right over here to his teammate, Dwayne Vincent. Dwayne had a great run tonight. You led most of the race. Give us an idea about how your race went tonight.
It was fantastic till about the last 20 laps, man. Just too many damn cautions, man. I let Landon get me on that one restart where he got a good jump on me, man. That's my fault for letting him do that. But congratulations to him. But I thought I can get him, but we'd go maybe 1-2 laps and another caution, so you can't do much with that. So.
Yeah, it seemed that the cautions were, well, they helped Landon and they hurt you. That's how it falls sometimes. Is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank all my teammates, Red Ass, my dad for watching. Hope he enjoyed that one. I was hoping to win one for him. Bob Earl for what he does for us, and all you guys at ETV. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, that was Dwayne Vincent, always strong in these races, and maybe we'll see him full season next season. I'm going to send it over to Michael Keaton, who is in Gatorade Victory Lane with your winner, Landon Huffman.
That's right, folks. Landon Huffman. I'm going to tell you something about this guy. Going into the race, Landon started 28th. Landon ended the race tonight at Phoenix International Raceway in first. Landon, you suffered 2 different wrecks on 2 different occasions, got some damage. Within a couple of cautions went your way. The pit crew went to work both times. Got in there, got the car fixed, repaired. Car looked good, started making your way through the field, got up to second, got up to first, then it entered under caution. Landon Huffman with the victory. I don't know if he's won the points championship. Oh, okay, he did. He clinched the championship tonight. Landon Huffman clinches the championship with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series at Phoenix. Landon, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, Batman. It's pretty cool to win the inaugural season in the series here with ETV. There's still 1 race left, so now I can go into Homestead and, relax and really have fun. I try to have fun at all these races, but sometimes, things get tense. But really happy with tonight. I did not deserve to win that race. Dwayne led the entire thing, and pit strategy got me where I was at. Didn't get to practice any, so qualified terrible, and tried to be patient at the start, but it's hard with all those cars and such little racetrack. I got into those 2 bump ups, but got the damage fixed, and then was able to get back to like 17th or so, something like that, and took 2 tires, and that got me to second. And I timed that restart perfect there. It's about 11 to go, and I think Dwayne was going to have me, but he overdrove 3 and 4, and I crossed back underneath him and took the lead. So I guess that was the big moment for me in the race, and like I said, I didn't deserve to win that one, but I'll take it however I can get it.
Landon, let's go back to the pit strategy there, that pit stop. In the broadcast, I mentioned defense and how defense in football wins championship. You hear Nick Saban with the Alabama Crimson Tide always talking defense wins championship. Notre Dame, defense wins championship. I look at the pit stop there, the 2 tires, as a defensive move. It got you all the way up to second, and even in the first, I believe, at one point. But, you know, Landon, going through that pit stop there, had your mind already been made up before you entered pit road? Did you change the 2 tires on your way down pit road? Did the crew chief tell you to go ahead and swap it over? What went through your mind? Who made the decision to call for 2 tires only on the right sides?
Well, throughout the week I've been running some Class A races, trying to prep the setup for tomorrow night. But and you know, I've learned in those races that track position is key for this track, no matter how old your tires are. So I figured if I take 2, I could maybe get out in the lead and catch a few quick cautions, which did happen, and you know, come away with the win. But I took 2, but I don't think we were caught up there getting into pit road, so I come out second. And I didn't have Dwayne the first couple restarts, but there, that one with about 11 to go or so, I just timed it perfect and was able to get him.
And Landon, now I'm going to ask you the pressure question. Going into Homestead next week, you are the champion, but let's keep in mind, you want to end the championship in the last race on a good note, on a positive note. What kind of pressure is now building up going into this race? Are you looking at winning it? Are you looking at surviving it? Or are you going in with the approach that it doesn't matter if you finish 43rd or if you finish first, you've clinched it? What's the pressure? What's the difficulty looking like going into the championship Homestead week next week?
Like I said earlier, a lot of the pressure is lifted going into this last week, so I can relax now, you know, knowing that I've won the championship. But I mean, I'm going to approach it like I would any other race. I'm going to try to win. I try not to let any kind of circumstances try to interfere with, you know, the way I run the race. So I try to approach every race with the I guess, attack it and, you know, try to win, you know, each race I enter. So like I said, you know, pressure's really, you know, pressure is taking off, but still going for the win.
Well, there you have it, folks. The heart of a winner, Landon Huffman, winning tonight here at Phoenix, and then clinching the championship in the process, and hopefully goes into the next Homestead chapter with RSR as a potential race winner there. Congratulations again, Landon. And Josh, wow, what a night here. Phoenix International Raceway.
Sponsors.
But before that, Landon, before we let you go, but I know you got some people to thank. You just joined the Pro Series group. You're doing real good with that. And we know you've got some people you'd like to thank.
Yeah, I got to thank SimSeats, www.sim-seats.com. Check them out. If you order anything from there, you use the promotion code LH75, lowercase. You get 5% off anything you order, so that's pretty cool. Real Sim Racing for putting on the league, sponsoring me in the Pro Series, and do a good job. I recommend this league to everybody on the iRacing service. It's been a blast this year. And gotta thank ETV for putting on this deal, and Bob Earl Seats for sponsoring the series. So I get me a Bob Earl chassis as well.
Absolutely, and we understand that Bob Landon will be here next week at Homestead with us to present that to you. So it's going to be a fun event. I tell you, I know you're pumped up for it. You're going to have that seat, and I know that you're probably pretty stoked about it. And good luck next week at Homestead. And, you know, Josh, again, this one, it turned out to be a good race. Everything kind of went Landon's way, although I swore I would have thought that Dwayne Vincent had this one under the bag. He won last week at Texas. I thought he was going to do a back-to-back.
Nope.
But then Huffman just clawed his way, I guess is the best way to put it, to the front. A little bit of defense strategy paid off, Josh, and now we go into Homestead. What's it looking like, buddy?
Well, we know how the points are going to wrap up, but if I had to pick, I'm not going to pick because I'm not going to put the ETV curse on the guy that I want to win. But it's looking like, you know, it's going to be a good race at Homestead, and you know, we'll see what happens. It's shaping up to be a good race at least.
Absolutely, and for me, Michael Keaton, Joshua Harbison, John Wessling, J.D. Webb, and for Dakota Ehrman, who's working pit road for us tonight here at Phoenix, We'll see you next week at Homestead, Miami, Florida, where the championship will be crowned to Landon Huffman with Bob Earl Racing.
Thank you.